up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, in regards to the pivot, we have some more news in regards to other players being linked with the position, so to speak, like Zubimendi, Kimmich, Weiffer, Aleix García, Amadou Onana, and the club's current plan in regards to pursuing a new pivot. Some unfortunate news with Messinho, him being ruled out as a priority option for Barcelona this summer. We have the details on that. Player sales, apparently PSG very interested in Héctor and Jules, Kounde, and even Frankie de Jong. We have some injury updates as well, new images of the second kit for next season, and finally, in regards to Xavi's situation at Barcelona, Joan Laporte has made it clear for multiple amount of reasons that he wants Xavi to stay and finish his contract at Barcelona. And Xavi saying, "Look, I probably won't stay, but if I do stay, I want you to back me in the market. I want Zubimendi, I want Bernardo Silva, and I want Erling Haaland in 2025. We have all the details, all the reports, but before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, guys, this video is sponsored by GoJersey. GoJersey is your best spot to go for cheap and high quality football jerseys or anything football in general. They got scarves, they've got flags, retro kits, regular kits, tracksuit from multiple different leagues: MLS, Premier League, La Liga, the Argentinian League, the Scottish League, Eredivisie. They've got everything for you. They actually sent me some of their products. They sent me firstly the 2015 away kit, which by the way looks absolutely stunning, quality absolutely elite as well to the minute detail. This season's away kit, the white one with the 1970s badge, long sleeve as well. And finally, this beautiful tank top, which I don't think Barcelona sell, but they had a custom made. Absolutely fantastic, quality is elite. And if you go to the checkout and put the code BOY, BOY, you get 10% off your order. What more can you ask for? So hit the link, top link in the description down below. Go to gojersey.com, use the discount code BOY at checkout, and get 10% off your order and get your new football merchandise today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Firstly, a quick recap on some of the latest news in regards to the pivot position. I did talk about this initial report from Tony Juan Martí, but I'll go over it very quickly. Among other names, Barcelona's list for the pivot position contains the following: Aleix García, Weiffer, Amadou Onana, and Thuram. Regarding Garcia, there are doubts because he's not considered a natural pivot with defensive virtues. Despite his performances have been great, his profile makes him lose points. The same goes for Weiffer as well. Thuram does not respond to the profile of a pure pivot either. Barcelona placed him below Onana at the potential level, but Onana's price makes his operation complicated, exceeding around 60 million euros. Now on Thuram, there are reports suggesting from Mundo Deportivo that Barcelona can get that deal for a little bit cheaper, and that's because of the clause in regards to the future of Jean-Claire Todibo. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that if Barcelona decide to sign Thuram, they would attempt to lower the transfer fee if there is a sale of Jean-Claire Todibo, from whom Barcelona reserve 20% of any future sales. So let's say, for example, Todibo is sold for 40, 20% of that, we get, I think that's what, 5, so we can use that 5 instead of, giving Nice, making them give us a 5 million, we could have a 5 million discount on the Thuram operation, so to speak. But there is one pivot who is ruled out now, and that is Dion Lopi, who Barcelona were heavily interested in the January transfer window. 21 Martin came out saying that Barcelona have now ruled out the possible signing of Dion Lopi of Almeria for economic and sporting reasons. His name was on the table in January, and Barcelona estimated that he could be available for less than 10 million euros, but his price has increased due to his progression. Even with Almeria getting relegated, they will get relegated, his price I think will still not be worth it. If he's available for under 10, fair enough, you can take the gamble on it, sure, kind of an Oil Romeo kind of upgrade, but if he's over 10, there's no real fee in it, if we're being completely honest. Now, of course, one of Xavi's dreams, my dream as well, is Martin Zubimendi, and Tony Juan Martin came out saying that Zubimendi could be an option for Barcelona if Xavi stays, and Barcelona have around 50 to 60 million available to sign him. Again, the money in terms of transfer fees is not the issue. It is in terms of registration, which hopefully the club can get back to the 1-1 rule as soon as possible in La Liga. But we'll wait and see what happens in the pivot. Again, the names are being more and more well known. I think right now Amadou Onana is the #1 option. I think Zubimendi is also up there as well. Then you have Aleix García, Weiffer, and then I think Thuram at the bottom, maybe with Lopi as well, even though he's ruled out, maybe his last second option in the event we do need it. Again, the options are not, crazy. We're going to be looking to spend around 50 to 60 million euros on a pivot. I still don't understand how Aleix García is considered as a pivot as well. But we'll see how things turn out. But again, this is going to be a very, very important position for Barcelona to acquire this summer. Now, a player who Barcelona had been following a lot over the past few months, but have now decided to rule out his signing. It is Estevão, also known as Messinho. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barcelona do not consider signing Estevão as a priority as of right now. They don't want to invest money in this position. His current release clause is 60 million euros, which again can be paid in installments. PSG and Chelsea are also monitoring his situation. I'm absolutely gutted. I think, to be honest, in my opinion, Messinho is a player you sign no matter what, based on just his raw talent alone. Because I think, to be honest, you can flip a profit on him in the future as well. But I understand the club's point of view. You want to spend your money right now on a left wing, on a pivot. Unfortunately, he's on the left wing. We have already Lamine Yamal and Rafinha on the right wing. If we do sell Rafinha, maybe we can come back to Messinho. But I think right now the club are kind of seeing it as the stars are not aligning, which I do agree with, but I still think that this is a player that you just get no matter what. Look at what Real Madrid have done. They've gotten Vinicius, they've gotten Rodrigo, they've gotten Endrick. They have 3 brilliant forwards. 2 of them, maybe even only one of them is going to play now, especially with Kylian Mbappe joining Real Madrid this summer. They still have that talent. Yes, it would be, crazy for Barcelona to spend this kind of money on someone right now when we need to invest in other positions. I understand that, but this is just a talent that you just can't pass up on, in my opinion. I don't think Barcelona are passing up on him per se, but then they're saying, look, we're going to go do our thing right now, get our other positions that we do need. If he's still available, we have money, and the operation is capable of being done, then we can go do it. Of course, right now he's 16. He cannot join Barcelona until he's 18, so if we do sign him right now, he'll not be joining for at least another year and a half, 2 years as well, so that's something to keep in mind. Maybe if Estevão is given some guarantees from Barcelona, he can prolong his decision, but again, Palmeiras do want to sell him now because they have the interest now. The release clause is right there, active and fair, so we'll wait and see how things turn out, but right now it's looking very complicated for Barcelona to complete the signing of Messinho. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. Now, one player who will 100% leave Barcelona this summer as a free agent is Marcos Alonso, and according to reports, he's off to Atletico Madrid on a free deal, which I was told about, I believe, around February. The rumors came out about it around, I think, December time. Then I was told from a source that he's probably going to go to Atletico Madrid. So I'm not really surprised by this, and honestly, I'm not too bothered either. Look, he had little to no impact at Barcelona. I don't know why Atletico Madrid want him. I guess in a left wing back role he can thrive there. Maybe in the left center back role he can do a job for them. But they do have a lot of players down that left hand side. Lino, Renildo as well. Marcos Alonso can put a shift in there. So is he going to be just a squad player for them? Maybe. Don't really care, to be honest. Fair enough to Alonso for getting a big move after Barcelona as well. I'll wish him the best of luck. I mean, again, I have no qualms about this. This is not like a David Villa move or a Suarez or a Griezmann or anything like that, or Arda Turan, something like that. It's just, a mid player going to Atletico Madrid from Barcelona. It is what it is, but he's going to go to Atletico Madrid. He's going to stay in La Liga. We're going to probably face him twice next season as well, so keep your eyes out for that. But again, his departure from Barcelona this summer is basically confirmed. Now, one of the most surprising news over the past 48 hours has been the news about PSG being interested in some Barcelona players for this summer. Of course, PSG going to invest in their squad. We're facing them in a week's time in the Champions League. According to Kounde, PSG are interested in Jules Koundé and Héctor Ford. There was a meeting a few weeks ago in Barcelona. Barcelona will not sell Héctor Ford whatsoever, but with Koundé, there could be an offer that can tempt Barcelona. Very, very interesting. Now, Héctor Ford, we already rejected a 35 million euro bid for him, despite the fact that he has a 6 million euro release clause. Make that one make sense. But again, Héctor Ford, play for the future for Barcelona. Jules Koundé, I love Koundé. The moment he signed, I know this is a player that I've had a not personal bet, but this is a player that I really wanted for Barcelona. Like, I really wanted De Ligt. In the past, I never got him. I really wanted Pogba when he went to Man United. We didn't get him. You have these kind of players as a fan that you always wanted, and Jules Koundé for me has been on that list. This season, he's been nothing short of absolutely exceptional throughout the whole entire duration of the season. Of course, had that 1 month period where he was dog shite. but he's been sensational. This for me is a center back or a right back that can perform at the absolute highest level. For me to sell him, especially the PSG, minimum 90 million. We bought him for 60. I think he's definitely increased his value. He is, of course, time's running out on his contract as well, which has to be taken into consideration. 90 million for me is Koundé's valuation at the bare minimum. Bare minimum. You're pushing 100 million with Koundé. This is a world-class player at 2 brilliant and highly touted positions as well. Center back market, right back market, very, very low at the moment in terms of who you can get. Of course, Barcelona are not really going to say, oh, we want to sell Koundé, we want to sell Koundé. Make us an offer. If we like it, we'll talk. If we don't like it, you can get sacked off. So we'll wait and see with that. But according to contrary reports coming in from Mundo Deportivo saying that PSG are actually interested in Frenkie de Jong, not really Jules Kounde. They're also in love with Lamine Yamal, but signing him is impossible alongside Héctor Ford. So apparently PSG showing strong interest in both Kounde and Frenkie. Again, with Frenkie, it's going to come down to whether he renews his contract. If he renews his contract, of course, se queda, no problem. Everyone's happy. If he does not renew his contract, then of course you have to look for a move for him this summer to get the best value for the player. And I think with Frenkie de Jong, his value right now, definitely, I would say, basically what we paid for him. 75, I would say maybe even 80 million euros as a valuation for him, in my opinion. So wait and see how things turn out. Very interesting. These rumors are coming out before the Champions League clash as well. But again, these decisions will be made in the beginning of June, middle of June, when Barcelona want to balance FFP, get back to the 1-1 rule. If good offers come in, they will consider it. But for now, Barcelona, again, what we've been seeing in the media from Deco and Laporta, they want to keep the core of their players and add on top of that and not sell per se. But everyone has a price, so we'll wait and see how things turn out. But again, PSG showing strong interest in both Jules Kounde and Héctor Ford alongside Frenkie de Jong and Lamine Yamal. Now, there are 3 players currently out on loan whose futures right now are very unclear in Pablo Torre, Ansu Fati, and Erling García, and we do have an update on all 3 of their futures. Firstly, on Pablo Torre, we talked about this a little bit in the last video, but from Mateo Morito from Olivo, he's actually elaborated a bit more. He's come out saying that Pablo Torre will leave Barcelona this summer. The formula that his exit remains to be seen, because there are various teams in La Liga that want to sign him. There are teams that also want him on loan, and Barcelona are looking for the right solution, one that will satisfy everyone involved. It could be a loan, it could be a straight transfer, a transfer with a buyback option. I wouldn't rule anything out. There are a lot of teams that want him, lots of teams willing to put faith in him. I reckon that he will stay though in La Liga. Makes sense in Barcelona. Again, the squad right now in terms of the midfield is very, very stocked, especially in those positions where Pablo Torre plays. Fermin Lopez, Pedri, Gavi, you have Gili Fernandez, who's doing absolutely unbelievably right now in Barca Athletic and also in the Juvenile A side. So I understand the club's perspective. I personally would do what we did with Abdi. By the way, the Abdi is Zelu from who we sold to Betis. Done absolutely squat, and that's now looking like a massive class on Mateo Alemán and Joao Laporta. Selling him on the final day, selling him for 10 million. We have 2 buyback options for him next summer and the following summer after that. I would look for a very similar formula with Pablo Torre. A player that I rate, but you know what? It's not the stars, just like with Messinho, the stars aren't aligning right now, so you move him on, but you retain some of his future. That's what I personally would do. I think a loan makes no sense whatsoever. I'd be on the side of a transfer with a buyback option in the future, but we'll wait and see how things turn out with him. Staying in Girona, of course, we do have, of course, an update on the future of Erling García, where AS have come out saying that Barcelona will look for a way out for Erling García this summer, but if there are departures into the defense, he will have a chance of staying, which again makes sense. You're going to see Lenglet, of course, leave permanently. Chadriad, we're not going to buy back. It's between really Erling García and Mikayil Faye for who stays and replaces the outgoing Inigo Martinez, because Inigo Martinez is probably going to leave the summer. Of course, we don't have his contract registered for next season. He has no way for him to get into the first team. He's not going to be a starter. It's going to be Araujo, Cubarsí, maybe Koundé coming in at right back with Julian Araujo returning from Las Palmas. They have no chance. The issue is that I don't think Erling García would really want to stay at Barcelona and be a 4th choice option. I think he loves the club. Of course, he's from the academy. I understand that. If he wants to be a 4th choice option, fine by me. But again, I have to warn you guys about the left-footed center back. Erling García is right-footed. Koundé is right-footed. Araujo is right-footed. Cubarsí is right-footed. Only Inigo Martinez and Mikayil Faye are left-footed. So if Inigo leaves, I think you're going to have to keep Mikayil Faye. You need that option with that left foot in the center back position to have at least at some point. It may not be as important as it used to be in the past, but you have to have that option available to you. So I think Erling García will leave the club this summer. I think we will end up selling him or maybe moving him on. Again, transfer with the buyback option, maybe like with Pablo Torre. I think his future at Barcelona is very difficult unless we sell maybe Koundé to PSG or we have another big exit at center back apart from Inigo Martinez. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But finally, the one that's the most unclear in my opinion, Ansu Fati. Now, Roberto De Zerbi has come out speaking to the media about Ansu Fati, and it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. De Zerbi has come out saying the expectations with him are always very high, but he has to give something more because what he is doing is not enough. We are helping him. He is a sensitive guy, a good guy. When you work with people like that, you are happy if you can help them. The first part of his career has been hard to accept and understand, but for great players, the most important thing is to adapt to the expectations you have. Following this, he was left out of a Brighton squad entirely for the last Premier League game. Him and Barco as well, one of their new signings from Argentina. Again, De Zerbi said he's physically behind and mentally he's not up to scratch. We might have to call Ferran Torres. Yo, Ferran, who's your therapist? Send them over to Ansu Fati, because bloody hell, if De Zerbi is saying that mentally he's not there, maybe he's too big for his own shoes, his ego's too big, he's not physically, there. I'm just so disappointed, man. I mean, I might have to sell my stocks in Ansu Fati's suit, man. I might have to. Anyways, there have been also reports coming in from Sport saying the option of extending Ansu Fati's loan at Brighton for the season is gaining more strength. Again, if De Zerbi stays, I think they'll definitely have some good chance. Ansu Fati knows him. Again, it's been hard for him now, so maybe you could say have a season of adaptation. The next season really goes for it at Brighton under De Zerbi. But if De Zerbi does not stay, I don't think he's going to stay at Brighton. But Ansu Fati's situation is very, very delicate. Again, he has 3 years left on his deal, a fan favorite coming from the academy. And keep in mind, do not forget, please, he is Barcelona's number 10. I mean, we'll wait and see, man. I think you can argue 4 different scenarios to do with Ansu Fati next season, and I could not, disagree. There's, the option of another loan, keeping him, selling with the percent of future sale. All options are on the table, and they all have their pros and cons, in my opinion. So, well, wait and see how things starts out with Ansu Fati. But again, right now, to end off a season with Brighton, it's not looking good. But hopefully, there can be someone to bounce back and some of an improvement for him to at least play the final few games for Brighton this season. Now, a player's future that has been very much in the media and speculations of his exit, but now apparently he's on course to staying at Barcelona, it is Mikayil Faye. Now, Tony Juan Marti from Sport has come out saying that Barcelona are clear, 100% clear, that Mikayil Faye will be part of the first team preseason and the squad for the US tour this summer. From the player side, Faye is prioritizing continuing to wear the Barcelona colors despite there being more lucrative options economically. Succeeding at Barcelona is his goal, and this is music to my ears. We already have our Inigo Martinez replacement. The fact that Inigo Martinez will leave the club this summer, you have Mikayil Faye to step up. Happy days. This man is doing unbelievable at Barca Athletic, especially over the course of the last few months. The first 2 months, very, very quiet on him. He's still getting integrated. I think in the first few games, Rafa Marquez did not even start him, wasn't even part of the squad. He's been doing sensational, man. Scoring free kicks, scoring headers. It's been unbelievable. Now, the Daily Mail, by the way, in the UK have come out saying that Manchester United are planning on signing a center back this summer, and they are keeping an eye on Mikayil Faye. So that's very, very interesting. But for me, 100%, this is the correct plan. Hopefully, by the time preseason comes around, Inigo Martinez's future will be somewhat decided whether or not he'll stay or leave. But get Faye on that plane to the preseason. Let him participate a little bit in the American tour. And whoever the coach is, let them evaluate him. I think if it's Xavi, good chance of him staying. If it's another coach as well, if they're smart, they'll keep Faye, especially having that left foot capability. But again, it's looking pretty good for him staying at Barcelona next season, and I hope that is the case as well. Brilliant talent. And with Inigo leaving now, that does open the door for him to have an opportunity, which of course I'm very, very pleased with as a fan. So I'll wait and see how things turn out. But again, 100% Faye will be on that plane for preseason, and then after that, his future will be decided. But the player again wants to remain firm in his desire to succeed at Barcelona. So very quick injury updates on Pedri, De Jong, and Christensen. The news has been really bouncing a lot back and forth. Oh, 1 minute they're going to start PSG, 1 minute they're not, 1 minute they're ready, 1 minute they're not ready. Anyways, yesterday in training session, the first team training session, none of the 3 of them participated whatsoever. And the Kounde have come out saying that in the Barcelona locker room, they trust that Pedri and De Jong will be ready for the PSG game, but neither their staff nor the doctors can guarantee it 100%. The idea is that they arrive, the evolution is very good, but with caution. With Christensen, he will be ready. He could even play on Saturday, but they didn't want to risk him against Las Palmas. So Christensen, fine, 100% ready to go for PSG. Very, very important for that game. With Pedin de Jong, the news has been just bouncing and juggling back and forth. We won't really know until I would say Monday when we start traveling to France and of course the squad list is released. That's when we'll have a good indication. I think right now it's really, really too early. We'll wait and see if they participate in the first team training sessions over the course of the next few days. But again, on optimism, I would definitely say for the three of them to be fully fit, ready to go for El Clasico. But for the first leg of the PSG, I would say probably Christensen will definitely start the game, but Frankie Pedri unlikely to. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up, an update on the role of Vitor Roque from now until the end of the season. Gabriel Sanz and Deportivo came out saying that Xavi is using Vitor Roque in various positions in training, and it's expected that the Brazilian will have a prominent role in the final stretch of the season. Of course, his big opportunity will be next weekend against Cadiz away from home. Lewandowski is suspended for the game. Players going to be coming back and being rested for the PSG game. That's going to be his big moment. I will say this: if he does not start that game, I think that's him done for this season. Of course, I don't think everyone's saying, "Oh, Vitor Roque, let him start," and Lewandowski. If he does not start against Cadiz when Lewandowski is suspended, half the squad is going to be knackered and tired from international break and also the PSG game. What chances he's got? I think I'm very, 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 very confident he will start that game. Where he starts as well could be on the left, could be on the right, could be down the middle. I think just him starting is the most important thing, but that's going to be the big point for Vitor Roque next weekend against Cadiz, where hopefully he will start the game and have a big impact for Barcelona for the remainder of the season off the bench and starting various games. Quickly, some updates coming in from Bojan, who has been speaking to the media. Of course, Bojan is part of the Barcelona board. He's kind of like the middleman between Barcelona and the loan players as well, kind of like, talent relations, player relations, stuff like that. He's been speaking with the media anyways. He was asked on Erling Haaland, saying that Erling Haaland is prioritizing Barcelona. If he has to choose between Barcelona and Real Madrid, he will come to Barcelona, and that's very ballsy for him to say, but that's kind of, a bit of common knowledge right now, I would say, in my opinion. He was asked on the game against PSG next week, and he said that PSG played a very weak league, and when they reach the Champions League, latter stages, they always suffer for a reason. Okay, Bojan, I see you, my guy. So, big quotes there. I think more only about the Erling Haaland one, talking about a player who's not really at Barcelona, but saying that he will join Barcelona over Real Madrid. Again, makes sense, and it pretty much also confirms as well that Mbappe, 99% going to be going to Real Madrid. And this one getting the minds of the heads of the PSG players and fans and board and, managers and all this stuff is very, very interesting from him, and we'll wait and see if that has any effect next week. Next up, we do have an update on the TikToker / video young fans who always stay outside of the Ciudad Deportiva Joan Gamper. I've talked about this a lot on the channel over the past few years. They kind of got big, of course, during COVID, watching the players come out of the training center, putting their cameras on top of the in their cars so you can see what they're doing inside the cars. The club have been very, very disappointed, very upset with that. They then, of course, stopped to release the training schedule. Keep in mind, Barcelona, 2 years ago, would release the time, days where Barcelona will train every single week just to let the fans and the fans know what's up with the club. They stopped doing that completely to try and stop these fans from coming to the ground, but they still end up making their way. We had an incident, of course, a few days ago with Inigo Martinez talking to a Real Madrid fan, telling him to stop insulting him, coming out of his car and stuff like that. And following this, Marca came out saying that Barca players are fed up with having to deal with young fans who try to capture a viral video or get an autograph in which they sell later every day. By the way, there are fans that the players know that come and meet them, ask them to sign shirts every single day, and they see them go on to sell the shirts, and that's why they don't really sign autographs too much. Anyways, the club are holding meetings with the local police to explore what actions can be taken to prevent these incidents such as the Inigo from reoccurring. Now, we saw in yesterday's training session there were actually police guarding outside the Ciudad Deportiva Joan Gamper. There were no fans there whatsoever. They made sure that nothing was going to be happening. Of course, I don't think they can really do that week in, week out. Barcelona do train a lot. We are a very high level, intense team, but it's always been an issue for Barcelona. It's not more so like fans that go once in a while. It's like the same core 20 or 30 that are there week in, week out, every single day, camera in your face, autograph, sign this, sign that. That's the annoying aspect from Barcelona. I think if it's different people every day, there would not be any problems, no worries whatsoever. But it's the same, 90% of the people are the same every single day. That's when the issue comes in. So wait and see what happens with this. Again, keep your eyes on TikTok if you see more clips of Barcelona players being captured out, leaving training sessions or not. But again, this is a major concern within the players and also within the club as well. Some big news in regards to the kit rumors over the past 24 hours. Memorabilia on Twitter has come out saying that orders have already been placed for the production of next season's home and away jerseys for Barcelona. It will be produced in Thailand, and that means that Barcelona will be staying with Nike for next season. 24-25 season, 100% it'll be Barcelona and Nike for the kit deal, which you already knew. Again, the Puma coming in is going to be happening in the 25-26 season. Doing it, for next season was way too late. Barcelona already approved the kits. To be honest, these kits are absolutely sensational. And on the kits, we have some new images coming out for the second kit. These are not digitally grafted images. This is the actual image of the kit. And I think in person, it looks even better than it does on the rendered pictures. I mean, the badge, I love the glow around it. Looks sensational. Of course, this is gonna be the players version. This is gonna be the $200 one where they have the actual drift fit and all that stuff. So you won't be seeing too many fans in this one per se. But I love the color. I love the darkness to it and the shadow to it as well. Even the color, to be honest, I rate it. I don't like the colors that are separate from the kit. I like how it's all into one piece, so you can either fold it or keep it. The other ones that really stick out when you fold it up, I'm not really too keen on that. I prefer this one. So personally, in my opinion, I don't really mind it whatsoever. But again, the new images looking at these kits next season are going to be sensational, especially during the 125th anniversary of the club. You're going to have the emblem, of course, hopefully on the left hand side. If they sell without the emblem, I'm going to be so disappointed, because I don't like the kit without the 125th anniversary mark. So hopefully they do sell it with that. And they say it's gonna be an additional cost. It's gonna be so annoying, but we'll wait and see how things are not in that regards. But again, new second kit images confirmed now based on the color scheme and actual IRL pictures, and of course the fact that we will be staying with Nike for next season. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is, of course, in regards to Barcelona's manager position situation. We're going to go through all the news recently. We're going to fly through it, and then when we get to the actual good part, we'll delve into it a little bit. Firstly, we have been linked with a few managers. First one being Iraola. Sport coming out saying that Barcelona are monitoring and tracking Bournemouth's Iraola. To be honest, Iraola, cracking manager. I do rate him, but again, not Barcelona level. We need someone with experience. If we're gonna get Iraola, might as well just go get Ernesto Valverde coming back again, or Emmanuel Alguacil, or Michel from Girona. Might as well he's on the same level as them, in my opinion. Iraola, so good manager, but I don't think right now what Barcelona need. Also, we have been linked a lot, especially heavily, with Ruben Amorim, the sporting manager from Portugal. Atletico came out saying that Ruben is highly regarded at Barcelona and a candidate for a coach for the Liverpool job next season. He favors the 3-4-2-1 system with two attacking midfielders who move fairly between the lines. His release clause, though, is set at 10 million euros. And of course, when a release clause is considered, pretty much means that Barcelona are going to be ruled out. Even reports coming in from the UK saying that Barcelona are in the race to try and secure the appointment of Ruben, in the knowledge that he has now become the top choice for a series of major European clubs. But then, we got some reliable reports from Portugal, from Sporting, saying that Barcelona is out of the race for Ruben. There is no way they're going to pay the 50 million euro release clause for the manager, which of course makes sense, so no worries there. Would I have taken him? No. Anyways, let's now discuss the Xavi reports. Again, they have been quite intense as of late. Now, firstly, the Athletic have come out saying that Hansi Flick was offered to Barcelona, but his lack of proficiency in both English and Spanish consists as an obstacle to his arrival. So not only can this man not speak Spanish, can't even speak English. Important Barcelona sources claim that the lack of suitable candidates to replace Xavi is the main reason that there have been little developments to find a new coach at a time when money is tight. The way Tuchel left his role at PSG, Chelsea, and now Bayern does not leave with the great look within Barcelona. De Zerbi's name was discussed within Barcelona, but he's still seen as an unproven at the elite level. Although Rafa Marquez is doing good work with Barca Athletic, he remains unproven at the top level and would only be considered as an option if Xavi's side suffered embarrassment by Napoli in the Champions League. None of the candidates to replace Xavi is considered has created an undisputed consensus inside the club. Sticking with Xavi is considered as a safer bet for many at Barcelona. So again, pretty much what we already knew in a quick summary coming in from a reliable source as well. Now, quickly on Rafa Marquez, David Bernabeu from Sport came out saying that Rafa Marquez is once again an option to replace Xavi. The club is very happy with the work he's doing with Barca Athletic and appreciates that he's the coach who knows the club very well, along with the young talents who are also succeeding in the first team as well. Rafa Marquez's name, by the way, guys, is gaining a lot of momentum. Of course, Gabriel Sanz put him in the top 3 about a few days ago, saying that Luis Enrique, Hansi Flick, Rafa Marquez are the top 3 coaches right now. David Bernabeu is bringing him up, although the Athletic are claiming that, the club like him, but again, not really quite proven. His name is definitely picking up steam. Now finally, on the Athletic report, right now Barcelona are not progressing to negotiate with any other manager, as their priority right now is to keep waiting for Xavi. From Barcelona, they have a list of 3 types of managers. 1, the elite level ones, including Pep Guardiola, Luis Enrique, Mikel Arteta, but are not available. Secondly, coaches who excel at managing dressing room harmonies, probably your Hansi Flicks, your German coaches. And then 3, coaches whose biggest strength is making players better. And inside Barcelona, there is a belief that the latter type of coach would be the best fit for them for the time being. So again, Barcelona waiting for Xavi, praying that Xavi stays, begging Xavi to stay. If they do want to get a coach though, they want to get a coach whose biggest strength is making players better, which again is exactly what we need right now. We need someone with experience and being able to improve players. We need kind of both. I wouldn't say to prioritize a coach who's only good at making players better. I think making players better is also very important, but having the experience is absolutely key. Now, on Xavi, Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Joan Laporta, Rafael Use, and Deco are waiting in hope that Xavi will reconsider his decision of leaving the club next season. Laporta considers that if Barcelona win or compete until the end of the Champions League and La Liga, the coach will reconsider his decision. The reasons for wanting Xavi to continue are as follows. 1, Xavi bets on numerous youngsters. 2, Xavi being respected by the veterans. 3, Xavi keeping the squad together. And 4, the good relationship with Deco. So 4 months ago, him and Deco don't get along, it's a terrible relationship, all they're talking trash about each other in the media. Now all of a sudden, they have a good relationship. I've seen the light. But again, all 4 of these reasons, 100% in my opinion, valid in order to keep Xavi at the club next season. Fernando Polo from Deportivo also came out saying that Xavi still doesn't want to stay this summer, but he might change his mind in the end. But he wants guarantees of the ability to sign top players. Xavi prioritizes 2 big signings in Martin Zubimendi or Kimmich and Bernardo Silva. Alright. With Kimmich and Zubimendi, makes sense. Bernardo Silva makes no sense in my opinion. That ship sailed when we were on the hype train in 2022. It's not 2024. And we're still on this Bernardo Silva train. And the reason why Bernardo Silva's name is being named is because he does have an exclusive release clause for Barcelona for 50 million euros. And we talked about this when he renewed his contract 2 years ago. During that summer, we all wanted him. He renewed his contract until I think 2026. And he has a secret release clause for Barcelona. We already knew this from the past. But the fact that Xavi is still really honing in on Bernardo Silva for me is quite interesting. Now, not only Bernardo Silva, not only Kimmich and Zubimendi, but also Erling Haaland. Fernando Polo came out saying that Laporta hopes to give Xavi the signs that he wants in the summer, and in addition to a long-term goal to sign Erling Haaland 2025, and of course with Lewandowski expected to leave during that time. Bloody hell. So again, Xavi is saying that, look, if I do end up staying, you gotta back me in the market. The report also goes into depth saying that, look, Xavi has been nothing but, compliant with Barcelona's financial situation over the past 2 summers, which he has been, but last summer he had problems, mainly because we got some of the targets he wanted, some of the targets we didn't get for him, but they all came in last second. We got Romeo, of course, in the early stages. Easy release cost 3 million, and Romeo was like, what, 7th choice? Remember that Gerard Romero pivot list? I can't remember who was on that list. But you remember that. I remember recording that in Barcelona as well. And then 7th choice was Romeo, and that's who we got in the end. The both Joaos came in last second. I mean, like, when I say last second, the last hour of the transfer window. Vitor Roque did not come in until January. So this is the problem that Xavi has. He wants to have these improvements on the squad. Of course, Inigo and Gundogan came in for free because they were free transfers. That's what made it easy. But the likes of Romeo now being high on his list, the 2 Joaos coming in last second. Imagine if the 2 Joaos did preseason with Barcelona. They could be even better than they already are right now, even though they've both done very, very well this season. So that's been Xavi's main quirk, being backed in the market, getting the players that he asked for. Apparently in the report, it says that he hates calling players saying, hey, come to Barcelona, then Barcelona not signing him. So apparently he called, Bernardo Silva, come to Barcelona, convinced him, yeah, okay, I'll come. Barcelona did nothing to get him. We didn't even place a bid to Man City in that summer of 2022. Same with Kimmich last summer, same with Zubimendi as well. All these things that Xavi just wants to see some sort of improvement. He's not disappointed per se, but he wants to see that improvement, which does make sense. Now, we'll wait and see how things turn out. I will say this, though, for the first time since Xavi announced his departure, he has been linked to a job, and it is the Ajax job. Tony Juan came out saying that Ajax has Xavi on their list of candidates to take over as a manager next season. The club valued Xavi's experience as a former player, his playing style, and the ability to manage young players as well. Whether Xavi takes a sabbatical or not is still in the air. Of course, he said in the press conferences that he wants to take a year off at least, so based on what he's saying, I don't know if he will jump right back into a job. I don't think he will. If he does, listen, I think that Xavi will leave. when he does leave, I think he'll take a year off, then come back in the management. I think Ajax would be a great club for him, but I don't think he'll go to him this summer. That's going to be, of course, where Ajax want to get a manager this summer. So we'll wait and see how things turn out. I think, look, we can have an El Clasico Champions League final and win 8-0. I still don't think Xavi will stay. I personally think that Xavi is 1,000% leaving no matter what. But the board think he's going to stay. They think he's going to stay. There's been reports also coming out like 20 minutes ago saying that all the players think that Xavi's going to stay. I think it's all crap. I think it's all just the media trying to build the hype for Xavi, trying to make him feel better as well for himself. He's going to be, of course, reading all these reports as he does as the coach, which he mentioned, of course, multiple times in press conferences. So I think that's what the club are trying to do. I think that's what the media is trying to do as well. Build the hype up, trying to get Xavi feel happier back on his side. But the reality is, I said it on the Barcelona podcast as well, which, by the way, go check it out if you haven't already. He's burnt out. The reality is that he's burnt out. He's already said he's going to leave. I think there's nothing that we can do to change his mind, but hopefully the board do have some sort of idea who they want as a new manager. If Xavi does not end up staying, that for me is my big question. We cannot, not do anything with looking for a new manager. Xavi says no, and then all of a sudden we're stuck here with no manager. June the 10th, we need to sign players and make the squad better. We have no manager 1 month away from preseason. That for me makes no sense. But of course, I trust the board. I do think they have a contingency plan in place. I think they know who they want to bring in as a manager if Xavi does not continue. But of course, they're not going to put that in the media just yet. They want Xavi to stay very, very badly. So we'll wait and see how things turn out. Again, the board are on their knees begging Xavi to stay, and basically Xavi's got them by the cojones, playing with them and toying with them on what his decision will be. I think in the end, Xavi will leave no matter what, but the board do think otherwise. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, send me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, of course, being on the manager situation. What would you personally do? Would you bet on Xavi, wait for Xavi to make his decision? Would you go look for a new manager? And out of those new managers, who would you bring in? Second, your thoughts on the pivot of the names that I've listed. Who would you go for? Do you back Xavi's idea with Zubimendi and Kimmich? Or would the club have come up with like Onana, Weiffer, Aleix García? Third, your thoughts on losing out to Messinho. I think that's a big blow. Would you still sign him no matter what? And finally, your thoughts on PSG being interested in Héctor, Koundé, and Jong. Would you sell them to PSG or not? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.